Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakal Kadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who are teaching this truth. And a shout out to Yakim that's out there on the four quarters of the earth proclaiming this truth. Barak be Yahweh, Barak be Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakal Kadash, Brakatham. And so I just come back from San Francisco, got back yesterday. Was tired, of course, because, like everything else, though, Greyhound's is all I was able to afford. It took me a long time to even be able to afford to do that. You know, round-trip tickets, about $82. To everybody else, that may seem like that's not a lot of money, but when you ain't got it and your SSI check is only for so much, and Esau, you know, gets most of that check anyways, you know, you do what you can to try to save up. I mean, I've been planning this for almost a whole year, and finally by September 1st, I was able to do this, to go out there, and you know, this word is so very valuable that you know, it takes me back to a time when Yahweh Shai was here. You know, there was no Greyhound back in the time that Yahweh Shai was here, so people traveled on foot, long, great distances. You know, from Nineveh all the way to Jerusalem on foot. You know how far that is? You know, that's like traveling all the way across the United States to get to where he was, almost, when you look at it geographically. At least, you know, you could say from Texas to California, you know, distance, because, you know, Nineveh, that's in Iraq, and Jerusalem is in the state of Israel. But you know what I'm talking about, though. The distance that they went to hear Yahweh Shai teach, because they knew that he was Hamashiach, and they wanted to hear Hamashiach speak. Well, Hamashiach is speaking today through his men, to the men of the Lord. So, you know, I was able to go down there and be with my brothers, and the great thing about that is, you know, I was able to see those that have been in this truth a lot longer than me, and to just be able to hear them, you know, to see this live, you know. And there's another thing greater than being able to do that, to know that you're in a blessed camp, you know, that every man there have the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Kadash presiding over them, man. And it was just great to be a part of that, you know. And you know, the adrenaline was pumping, you know, and just like, yeah, man, I'm feeling it, you know. Well, I knew I was always destined for this. The moment that I had seen GMS Toronto, I knew that these men were speaking the truth, and I knew that I had to get there. You know, that I had to get to Great Millstone, because, you know, to back them, because this is the truth. I knew it was the truth when I heard it. So, you know, that's what I was finally able to do after a period of time, you know, because, you know, back in 2016, the house that I was in, you know, and that was taking all my money too, so that house had to go. But I mean, you know, that was lost, and so I ended up being moved into an RV in the backyard, and I just kept on watching videos and downloading, and then resharing, you know. And I was speaking against Esau, you know, and against the wars and rumors of wars, you know, just, you know, and then eventually, you know, I got this place last year, and then it was time for me, you know, I just heard the call. Brother Kazat, Yahweh Shai is Coming Back channel, he put out a video, and it said, stop making excuses and go out there and teach, you know. And that was, you know, meant for people like me, you know, not just to be a hearer of the word, but a doer of the word, meaning that I go out there and I teach this. And then, of course, you know, just about that time, the channel that I had, in Revelation Times channel, that got taken down, you know. So I had to start from scratch, you know, and make a new channel. My brother, you know, and so there it was. And so I went to the Sundial Bridge and started to teach there. And then I started out to, you know, because here in Redding, everything's run by private security, so you can't really be on the property, so you just got to kind of teach off the property, to where they say, oh, well, you know, we've heard, you know, some complaints or whatever. That's how I got run off of Cal Works over there by the Rabbah station, you know, because they heard some complaints. And that's how Esau cleverly shuts you down, you know. Even though the security was nice to me when they had said, yeah, well, we kind of agree with you. We don't agree with the religious part of it, but we agree, though, that, you know, these, you know, the government's not going to protect you, you know. And I actually talked to that security for almost an hour, you know, just talking about things. And he told me about antimedia.com and that, yeah, man, actually I was agreeing with everything, just not the religious part. Well, we're not a religion anyways, you know, because actually we're speaking against religion, because religion, all that is philosophy. And we're speaking against Edomite philosophy, you know, that Jesus is white, and that's not even his name, by the way, you know, his name is Yahweh Shai. You know, and just speaking against all these things. But, so, you know, I stand by bus stops, you know, because Esau can't say, oh, well, we've heard some complaints at the bus stop, right? You know, or you know, I find places, you know, so scattered all around. But I am the only one prophesying here in Redding, and so I was among other brothers in San Francisco, and you know, I'd finally gotten there by about 4:30, but I mean, the bus was late. You know, I was supposed to be on the bus at 4:20 in the morning. The bus had arrived at 7:30, so that made me late for the San Francisco bus from Sacramento to San Francisco. So I had to wait again, you know, after getting on that bus. You know, got into Sacramento by about 10:30, but had to wait for the 1:30 bus to San Francisco, so there's another 3 hours. And so by the time I'd gotten there, it was almost close to 4 o'clock. And of course, you know, Powell and Market Street is just a little bit of distance from where the station is. It's not that far, but it's within walking distance. You know, so man, it's like I was like, hey, how do you get to Powell and Market Street? And everybody was telling me to take the bus. It's like, you could walk there, but it's... and then I figured out that it wasn't even that far of a walk. And it's like, shoot, man, the walk trails that I do up here in Redding, I do a lot longer, but... and these people in San Francisco are just so lazy that they, you know, they would actually take a bus, even though it's just not even fucking 10 minutes. You know, they say, oh, well, you should take the bus, or you could take part. And it's just like, you know, and that costs money, you know. And so, no, man, it was better to go on foot. Not to mention, you have to get on board the bus. You have to wait to get on the bus and all that. You know, it's like, no, man, this time is precious. And this word is precious. This is very, very precious. And I can't think of a better chapter to read out of than the Songs of Solomon, starting in chapter 1, because, you know, how valuable is this? What lengths would you go to hear the word? Well, you know, and how valuable is it? You know, and that's what today's lesson is about, because, and I'd go the distance. I do it again and again, because... the word of Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai is being spoken through the men of Great Millstone today, in which I'm a part of. You know, I'm adjoined to it, you know. And it's just, you know, I do pretty much anything to be a part of that. You know, of course I want to be a part of it. I want to be a part of that number when the saints go marching in. That's what we're doing. We're marching into the streets. We're teaching the ways of Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai. We're calling our nation back to repentance. The 12 tribes that are on the sign, you know, that which all these other camps are trying to come up against, you know, or they're for it, but then they want to teach the ways of Esau. No, man, we're a strong tower. We are that great millstone teaching. And so, you know, while it's here, because we know that eventually family word is coming in, and already I know what the value of this word is, and it should be of great value to everybody else. While we're still here and we're still in them cities, it's time to hear the word of Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai before it's too late. Because this famine is coming. You already seen what happened with Alex Jones and what happened, you know, it's been happening to our channels. I mean, it even happened to the San Francisco camp. Their main channel got taken down, and, you know, they had to put up another channel. And the same thing happened with GMS Ancient of Days as well. They had to put up a new channel because their other channel had gotten taken down, because Esau's now complaining because this word's getting out there, and a lot of confusion of faces like myself, and just a lot of people are leaving them churches, man. They're not with TD Snakes. That's why they're trying to use TD Snakes right now to come against us. You know, because, and they just, they can't really combat us. You know, No Class Malone, all that, man, we chew him up, man. You know, he's disintegrated. He's totally disintegrated by this fire. You know, and it's kind of funny because he was talking to GMS Ancient of Days camp leader there, and he's trying to ask him, You know, how are men reincarnated? And he just straight up told them, he says, look, you can't even understand other things, so how are you going to be able to inquire about that when you can't even understand the simplest things? This ain't for you, you know? And that's just it. This ain't for Esau. And that's why he's mad, because, you know, he doesn't get it. He's never going to get it. This Bible is encrypted. He can't decrypt this Bible because it has encryption on that, because it's not meant for him to get it. It's only meant for us, the elect of Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahushai Ba'Hashem, Rekal. So I'm just reading out the Songs of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 1. The Song of Songs, which is Solomon's. The Shulamite. Let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth, for your love is better than wine. What's it talk about? This word. You know, the love that we have for each other, for the elders and apostles of Great Millstone and the men of Great Millstone. Because of the fragrance of your good ointments, your name is ointment poured forth. Therefore the virgins love you, draw me away. And when people hear the word virgin, they think, well, someone who hasn't been touched. Well, and the reason why it's likened that way, you know, it doesn't mean literal virgin, but what it means in likening it that way is that, nah, man, we haven't been touched with all these other philosophies out there, man. We're up here, you know, because we have the true doctrine. We're clean. We're finally clean. The daughters of Yahushalom, or Jerusalem as it writes, we will run after you, the Shulamite. The king has brought me into his chambers. The daughters of Jerusalem, and we're that new Jerusalem coming down right now, you know, coming down through the men of Great Millstone. We will be glad and rejoice in you. We will remember your love more than wine. Again, you know, this is the sweet red wine that's coming out. The Shulamite. Rightly do they love you. I am dark, but lovely, O daughters of Jerusalem, like the tents of Kedar, like the curtains of Solomon. Do not look upon me, because I am dark, because the sun has tanned me. What's that talking about? That's talking about pigmentation, you know. And it says something else. I don't have the King. This is the New King James Bible, so a few words might have been changed a little bit. But that's talking about the, you know, in other parts it says, I am black unto the ground. So that's what he's talking about, you know. My mother's songs were angry with me. They made me the keeper of the vineyards. But my own vineyard I have not kept. And again, you know, what is the vineyard? The vineyard is the grapes, you know, the fine grapes, which Yahushai, through his men, is bringing us back into remembrance. Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahushai Ba'Hashem, Rekal Kadash. You know, those that have the name and that call upon him are like fine wine, like a vineyard. If you do not know, O fairest among women, follow in the footsteps of the flock, and feed your little goats beside the shepherd's tents. And that's what you could call, you know, these gatherings. You can call them tents, because here we are in the city, you know. And when you look at a big city like San Francisco, you'd be amazed as to how many distractions there are. You know, and it's kind of funny because another Edomite had come up upon the camp. Actually, I think he was Ammon, but he came up on the camp. He thought I was one of them, man. He tried to ask me, well, what Bible are you reading out of, you know? And he got run off, man, because, and I bet you he's the same one that's on the loud mic, just a few, yeah, like just a little bit over on the mic, talking about Jesus is all love and stuff. And, you know, he's just, you know, thought that he'd be a distraction, or that he'd encourage me to join him. Man, I ain't with him, you know. Just because, you know, I may look like him doesn't mean I'm with him, because he never seen me before. But, man, I bet you Great Millstone has already run him off many times, you know. So, anyhow, again, again, he couldn't touch me, because there's no way that I would ever go back to Christianity, that I would ever go back to that abominable filth. The beloved, if you do not know, O fairest among women, follow in the footsteps of the flock and feed your little goats beside the shepherd's tents. I have compared you, my love, to my filly among Pharaoh's chariots. Who's the modern day Pharaoh? This place, America. Babylon the Great. Your cheeks are lovely with ornaments, your neck with chains of gold. The daughters of Jerusalem, we will make you ornaments of gold with studs of silver. So in other words, it's going to be refined like the gold and silver that we are. And we're going to take this kingdom back from me. So we're pretty much going to come back to our heritage, and this place is going to be destroyed. Which is, everything's leading to that final hour of destruction, and it's coming quickly. Esau's drawn into this war that he cannot win. All the nations are gathering in the valley of Jehoshaphat, which is the valley of Yahweh's judgment, to judge the wicked. While the king is at his table, my spikyard sends forth its fragrance. What's that fragrance talking about? The sound and the smell and just the purity of this word. A bundle of mirth is my beloved to me, that lies all night between my breasts. My beloved to me, a cluster of henna blooms in the vineyards of Engaddi. The beloved, behold, you are fair, my love, because you are fair, you have done eyes. The Shulamite, behold, you are handsome, my beloved. Yes, pleasant. Also, our bed is green. The beams of our houses are cedar, and our rafters of fir. And again, pretty much, in that chapter, that whole book of Song of Psalms is just talking about how refining this word is and what it is, And it's like unto a woman, pure, clean. That's what virgin means, especially when you get into Revelation chapter 14, which was read, out loud, And the great thing about being in a bigger camp, man, everybody gets a turn, and my job really was to hear it. I came there to hear. And, I did join in when the time was appropriate. You don't come to these places to try to take over or anything like that, especially with others that have been in this a lot longer. You just come there to listen because of the purity of that word. And if you got something good there, you say it, It's like, yes, I know, like I talked a little bit about car fire, and I talked a little bit about other things, but, I was there to hear it. I was here to listen, to finally be among real men, and so finally I was able to do that, and hopefully after this fine is paid off, I have fines, because I got pulled over and I shouldn't have been, because I had spent all day, I had the permit, and Esau gives me a goddamn ticket anyway, a fix-it ticket, which I'm not going to be able to fix the car because of the fact that catalytic converter, and the code's still up there. So I bet you, though, that it's really an 02 sensor. So guess what Esau's going to have me do? He's going to, I don't want to get rid of the car, so of course I have to, forfeit the bail forfeiture, which is $274, but by the time I finance it's going to be $325, which I can show that here. And I shouldn't have even gotten this to begin with, but, so that takes all the extra money, and I'm stuck paying this for the next 6 months, so that takes away from what I'm now getting. I just got the budget there. That proves that this place is not a rest, man. Thinking that I just finally got my finances in order, so finally I'll be able to go to camp, at least once a month. Oh man, now that I got attacked with that fine and all that, now I have to wait another 6 months just to pay that off, and try to get all the other finances down to where I have an extra $82, because that's what a round-trip ticket from Reading to San Francisco is. It sucks, but I also know, though, that these are trials, these are tribulations that one has to go through. And how valuable is this word? And it's everything to me. You know, I've done a lot of things. I've gone to concerts. I've gone to other places. And man, when you're in San Francisco, man, you got all these amateurs playing. You can hear live music on the streets all the time. But, you know, I came to hear the real song. The song of the 144,000 to be played. You know, and that's a much better piece than all these amateurs out there, you know, just tapping and all that. But I've done concerts. I've gone to wrestling events. But this... going to Great Millstone to be among my brothers is greater than any of that. How valuable is the word to anyone else? You know, right now it's available. You know, and I'm telling everyone, save these lessons to your hard drive. You're going to need it. Esau's going to shut this shit down very soon. You know, where we won't be able to do that. So save all these. You're going to need these files. You're going to need these breakdowns because the famine of the word is coming. But, you know, that's only for the elect to do this, because we know that the 2/3 ain't going to come into this. They're going to want to hear it, but, man, we ain't going to be there anymore. Think we're going to be there when martial law is declared? Do you think we're going to be there when, you know, these stores are FEMA camps? And that's another thing here in Redding. You know, Sears that closed down earlier this year, it's all fenced off. What are they planning to do with that? Well, you know that these abandoned malls, abandoned stores and all that are going to become FEMA centers. Kmart just became a FEMA center. It is the recovery center became FEMA of the old Kmart, you know, and that's like a relocation center. They'll say it's you know, for those car fire victims that you have a certain amount of time and all that. But these accommodations, these housing that people are going to in Sacramento, that's a FEMA camp. You know, yeah, they may look like fair, equalized housing, but the thing is, though, is it's a gated community. You can check in, but you're not going to get out. You know, Esau does things cleverly. He never lets a good crisis go to waste. And that's just the beginning of sorrows. This car fire thing, that's just a small glimpse of the things that are coming. This is just the beginning of sorrows, the birth pains. So I hope this has been edifying, and until next time, Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakal Kadash, Barakatam.